So I never shared this story before, and I actually feel very shocked that I've gotten to a place mentally where I feel comfortable talking about this type of stuff on social media. But I've learned through my past 5 years of experiences from being a Yale student, being a Division I football player, that some of my experiences, some of my what I call downfalls, which are really just things that I hoped to achieve that I didn't, by sharing these things to an audience and sharing them to college athletes now and future college athletes will hopefully exponentially increase their ability to have success in their desired sport and have the desired outcomes that they hope for in their lives. So what I'm about to do is talk about why there were very few moments that I was able to succeed in the way I hoped to on the football field because of this and nothing else, just this. If you're listening to this, I'm pointing to my head because of my brain, but we'll talk more about this. So let's get into this. The premise of this video is that throughout my college football career as a Division I wide receiver, a 4-year starter at my position, and somebody who was a 3-time Ivy League champion, did so much in the community, such as helping the Ivy League get in the FCS playoffs, get tons of awards by my community, graduating with a 3.8. I'm not sharing those accolades to boast. I'm sharing them to actually say that throughout all of this, I actually was more unhappy and more insecure than ever. And it's crazy to look back now. And almost, I want to say the word regretful, but I don't want to regret because I've learned so much because of it. But it's crazy to think that during the best time of your life, during the thing that's most important to you, the majority of your days and hours can be spent ruminating and being afraid versus fully living in the moment, thriving, and being the best version of yourself. So why did this happen? Well, let's go back. I think, and I have notes here, so if you see me looking down, I got some notes. I'm still new with this content thing, right? But if I go back, I think a lot of this stemmed from a deep need for approval that I've always had going back to high school. Well, why do I know I had this? Okay, well, first, I think back, my most vivid memories come from junior, senior year of high school, where all I was doing was thinking about how I looked on social media and how I looked as an athlete. I watched other receivers, watched other college football players, doing very well, having success in the sport, and I was not there yet. I had 0 offers. And the only thing I wanted to do once I started getting recruited, once I started getting offers, was to show that on social media, post on my Snapchat story, which I look back and was the cringiest thing to exist, post my offer on Twitter, not to celebrate myself, but for others to celebrate me. And all of these things are terrible. I mean, it's terrible, but that's how I spent my time. I spent my time hoping for that message that, I'm doing this, video on social media. Hopefully I look cool. Hopefully I'm seen as this guy by certain people. It's terrible to think that that's who I was and that's how my brain operated. But it stemmed from a deep need of approval that I think a lot of high school athletes and college athletes and everyone, older people too, have. A lot of people want to be seen. A lot of people need to be seen. And I truthfully think I need to be seen as well. But what switched, and I'll get to that later, is that I now need to be seen by people I want to be seen by, the people that matter to me, my family, my close family circle, my circle of friends, rather than 7 billion people who don't understand me. And my desire to want them to like me, or my desire to want to be liked and seen and approved and validated, screwed me up big time, man. Like big time. And that's crazy to think about. But anyway, let's further on. We talked about high school, and I think, the whole offers thing is definitely a big moment that I can look back as like a thing that every high school athlete deals with. You watch everyone get offers. You're not getting offers. You want offers, and you're very upset that you're not getting any. So immediately you start thinking you're less than because other people are getting them and you're not. It's bullshit. Just call it how it is right now. It's bullshit. Everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own journey. And just because your moment hasn't come yet, just because you're not in the same place that your teammate is, even if you're better than them, it's bullshit. Who cares? What matters for you is going on your own journey, taking the steps you need to take to get into the place you need to be. And that's going to happen with time. But what's not going to help and what's not going to happen is you spending your time thinking, wow, why is he getting offers? Why is he getting noticed? Why is he getting this and I'm not? Because all it's going to do is bring you down and then hurt your ability to get there eventually. And then moving into college, we'll see the same themes in my life personally that kind of showed. The ideas of comparison, the ideas of a lack of self-belief, the idea of needing approval. And it stemmed in many different ways for me. So the first thing I think about was coming into college. I think there was a moment where I was a very hungry freshman. I wanted to play. I wanted to be that guy. Why I wanted to be that guy, I'm not sure where it stemmed from. Maybe it was, I've always had a deep internal drive to be great, but also I know that deep internal drive used to be corrupted by a need for approval and a need to be seen. But this deep internal drive, regardless of where it came from, pushed me very hard. And I worked my butt off, always. I was, very cocky because of it. I think I was very arrogant. I became this arrogant person through my success in my senior year of high school and starting to get mad that I wasn't getting the offers that others got. So because my teammates were 4 and 5 stars and because I was a 0 star and had Ivy League offers, I thought I was, trash compared to them. And that pissed me off because I knew I was better than them in my head. So I wanted nothing more than to prove everyone wrong and be that guy. And it drove me. Whether or not that's the right thing to drive you, who knows? I could say maybe it's not, but that's what drove me at the time. And it pushed me to a point freshman year where I really was working hard. And I'm not sure when the flip switched, but essentially this hard work got me, by the end of freshman year, onto the field. And that was great. I mean, the reason I was nervous freshman year to play was not necessarily because of a lack of self-belief. Actually, yeah, it was. That's dumb. It was less because of, the whole, insecurity thing, more because of, I was a freshman. I was scared of shit. I'm playing against big dudes who are seniors, 50 years, and whatever. But when it all stemmed was sophomore year. Sophomore year comes around, and I start the whole season. And it was the weirdest thing ever. I had no desire to be that guy. None. I wanted to be on the field. I wanted to play. I wanted to be on the field. I wanted to get reps. Because being a starter was what my goal was. And once I achieved that goal, it wasn't what's next, let's go better. It's, oh shit, I don't want to get exposed. And as I reflect, I'm actually, this is happening in this moment. This is actually crazy to think about. As I reflect, I'm thinking maybe the reason that lack of self-belief stemmed right in that moment is because I never believed that I was that person, because I was always hiding behind this facade of arrogance and cockiness and whatever, that I'm that guy. Inside, I didn't feel like it. So when I got to the place of being on the field, wearing the jersey, being the football player as a sophomore, junior, senior, which I'll even get to later, I didn't want to be in a position where I was getting the ball, where I was the guy on 4th down that you're throwing the ball to, because I didn't want to get exposed. I wanted nothing more than to be out there and reap the benefits of winning and being successful without having to get exposed or be the person who has to go ahead and make those decisions and get those opportunities. And it's so crazy to think about, but it's also so interesting that I've had so many conversations with people around me who are Division I athletes, high school athletes, whatever, who've had similar experiences, which makes me think that it is a big-ass deal. I don't even like cursing on social media. I just listened to a podcast from Dan Martell telling me to be myself, so I got to be myself when I talk. But listen, it's a big-ass deal. This shit matters. And if you don't think it does, then keep doing the hamster wheel of going after the wrong things. And when your day comes where you're feeling like this, it's going to be too late. I don't want you to ever have to get there. But the point is this. I get on the field. I'm a starter. Boom. I achieved it. But I just felt less than, because all I cared about was what others thought about me, what others had to say about me. I had no drip. I was wearing number 30. All that stuff bothered me. I was like, oh, I'm not this guy. I'm the ass player. I'm the player on the other side of the field when they're watching film saying, that's the burger. Burger is a term in football that means your ass. Just call it how it is. I was always the guy on the other side of the field in my head that they're going to be in the film room saying, we won't go worry about that guy today. He's not that guy. He's not going to make the play. He's not going to be the person we got to worry about. Worst case scenario, we'll take a one-on-one. We'll deal with that rep. That should be motivation. That should drive me to say, I'm going to work my ass off. to go ahead and take advantage of my opportunities. But no, that I was comfortable there. I didn't want to be the guy. And that plagued me. I don't know where that came from because I always wanted to nothing more than to be seen, validated, and whatever. And I guess what happened was once I got there, it was kind of like, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. So to take it a step further, the rest of my time in college went great. Went great. After sophomore year, junior year, rising junior year, played, same deal. Had a little injury, took me out for a bit, was doing a little rotation this year. Had less of a solidified starting spot. That got to me. Having to compete and not being on the field cemented and kind of being on the sideline, I didn't want to dominate to get back on the field. I wanted to do just enough to play and then not get exposed, so I got benched. And I think that whole idea of like, there's always somebody behind you was effing with me bad, which should not be the case. It should be pushing you. But I was on the field and I was like, damn, well, I could catch this touchdown and be in a great position, but also could drop it and get benched for the guy who's sniffing my whatever to get in the game. And usually I feel like that motivates a lot of dudes. Hell no, that didn't motivate me. I was kind of like, man, I'm good. Like, just don't throw the ball my way. Let me just be in a good position to show that I could have caught the ball and then act like, yeah, man, he should have threw it to me because I would have went crazy. That's why I was saying in the locker room, I don't get the ball. I don't get fed. I'm pissed. Truth be told, I was too scared to get the ball. That's crazy to think about, but that's where I was as an athlete. That was me. And then taking it further, senior year. By this point in my college career, on the field and not, I mean, listen, I was starting, I was playing, everything was going well. Off the field, I was doing tons of stuff in the community. I was president of a few clubs. I was high GPA. I was making tough and great decisions for the community. It was great, right? On paper, you're looking at this like, damn, this kid Mason Ship is a sharp-ass young dude. Young man. What a young man this dude is. Man, I want to shake that man's hand. That's the type of deal we're dealing with here. But I didn't feel that way. Everyone around me was telling me how great I was. And inside, I felt like shit. I was like, I don't feel that way. Award, let me post it so I get some story likes and some text saying, great job, man. That'll fill me up a little bit. That'll float my boat for about 24 hours, and then I'm right back to the pit. Oh, what's next? I need more validation. I need someone to tell me I'm good so I can actually feel like I'm good. Everyone believed in me. I didn't believe in myself. Now, why does that happen? Why does that happen to people? Well, it happens to people because you never spent time actually accepting the fact that you have an insecurity, accepting the fact that you feel a certain way, and then doing something about it, doing something to actually fix it. So I'm not going to keep going on this rabbit race of my story. You get the point of the story. Let's talk about how I fixed it. Let's talk about how I'm sitting here today and feel comfortable speaking in front of the camera about this and how the work I had to put in to get to a place on the other side of it where I look back and say, damn. Because here's the truth. I'm not fully there yet, but my ability to speak on this and reflect and be able to, and share all of it is because I've learned what it takes to get there. And all it takes now for me is just consistency and continuing to do what I need to do so that this void or this emptiness that everyone has and persists more in some than others completely removes itself from me. And whenever it sneaks up, I have the tools I need to go ahead and erase it. Because if you're a college athlete, if you're a high school athlete, you need to do the same thing. So first things first, I have these notes here, and I gotta read these notes for you so you understand what I'm trying to say. So step one of all of this is honest self-assessment. I wrote this down before the episode, and I need to read this to you because this is a low-key a bar. And I was low-key shocked that I wrote it. You must first accept that you feel this way. You must then assess why you feel this way. Now, it didn't sound like a bar, actually, after I read it. It kind of is frustrating, but it's okay. Listen. In order for you to get past anything you're feeling that's stopping you from being the person you want to be, you have to start by acknowledging that you feel this way. So much of the issues that I had was that I never wanted to say that this was a problem. I fed into it. Oh, okay, so I got this, and after getting this, I got validated in this way. Well, if I do more of these things, maybe I'll keep getting validated, and then I'll keep feeling better about myself and having a heightened sense of self, a higher ego, but as a result, feel more insecure inside. People don't realize that last part. You're thinking, oh, if I keep doing this, if I keep making those great catches and keep getting validated outside, I'll feel good about myself. But what happens when you start making all those bad catches? You start making drops. And you have nothing to fall back on because things are great when they're going great. You had a great game. Oh, you're the best. Oh, we love you. oh, you're amazing. That feels really good, right? But what happens when you don't? What are you going to lean back on? Do you have systems in place to feel better about yourself after the bad game so you can bounce back and have a good game next week? And if you don't have that in place, you're not ever going to get there. So first, you need to accept that you feel this way. Mason, you're insecure, bro. You're insecure. You talk all that hot shit. You think you're this, that, and the third. You're not. You're insecure about it. You feel this way because people outside tell you this, but inside you don't feel this way. That's a hard conversation to have with yourself. It's crazy that I'm over here having it with myself right now. This feels like a crazy moment right now. I never thought I can get here. I was insecure. I didn't like things about myself. I cared a lot about what others said about me. But I accepted it. This happened recently. It's June 22nd. This happened about a year ago. Less than a year ago. I'm capping. Probably like September, like 9-10 months ago. You get the point. After you accept that you feel this way, you must assess why you feel this way. I just told you everything that I figured out about myself. There's more, more details. But you can go back, and I kind of just explained how I felt about myself all throughout the way. How in different phases of my life, this insecurity showed up, and how I fed it, and how I heightened it and grew all of it to make myself more insecure, more reliant on other people to make me feel validated and feel better about myself. So now that I accepted it, now that you accepted it, the next thing that us young people, us all humans, that we don't do is do something about it, act on it. Okay, I know I have these things that are wrong about myself. I know I have things I need to fix. Now go fix it. It should be the easiest thing that exists in the book. But the problem is no one knows how to do that. No one ever does that. No one ever acts on that. And there's tons of different ways that you can do this. There's so many different ways that you can go ahead and get this done today, tomorrow, this week, and put habits in place to make yourself a better person that you're thankful for in a few years. So what are some? Let me tell you about mine. So going back to my notes, I literally put, I'm young. I'm still figuring this shit out. And here's what I did to help myself. I spent less time on my phone. I spent less time looking at other people's success. I spent more time celebrating my peers. This is something that most people don't think about. Part of the reason you're insecure, part of the reason that you don't feel good about yourself is because you're low-key preying on other people's downfalls. I remember when I was a receiver and I was, competing for a starting spot. I'm trying to get in the field. Rather than wanting to be the best version of myself and wanting everyone else around me to be the best version of themselves so we all made each other better and improved as a group, as a collective, I wanted others not to do as well as me so I can be the one standing out. So I can be the one getting the opportunities. But even worse, I was too scared to take advantage of the opportunities like I just told you about. So I was just doing the bare minimum. So what I was hoping for is that people did less than the bare minimum. Balls in the air, don't catch it. Opportunity to make a big play, don't make it. Because if they make it, I'm sad. And everyone's cheering, and I'm as a teammate, I'm like, oh. And that's terrible. You don't want to have guys like that on your team. That's bad culture guys. Those guys really hurt a team and the outcomes. So the more you spend time celebrating those guys, the more you spend time high-fiving your teammates, congratulating them, supporting them when they need it, being a person who helps uplift them when they need it, the more successful you'll be as an individual, because you'll feel better about yourself. And when you spend your time outwardly portraying positivity outwards, you spend less time inwards focusing on yourself. I wish I delivered that better because that would have been a bar. I would have clipped that. It's all good, though. And that's something really important that you need to start today. You can implement that today. And you can fake it till you make it. Well, Mason, how do I go ahead and start supporting the guy who took my spot? Oh, I don't know. When you catch the ball, high five him. Say, good job, bro. Say, hey, man, I saw your catch earlier today. I liked it. Hey, I saw your route. That was a really good route, man. I couldn't run that myself. Well, maybe don't say that part because now you're hurting yourself. But the whole point is you need to celebrate others around you. And you may have to start by faking it. You may not actually feel the joy, but practice feeling the joy. So when the day comes for you to feel it, you feel it. That's how you need to go about it. Next, more time writing and reflecting. This counts. I'm recording videos because it's low-key like a form of self-therapy for myself as I'm helping the world. I want to help the world not have the experience I had because, listen, I have had so many great opportunities and experiences in my life. I'm not somber about any of it. I'm just saying I wish I took more advantage of it. How my life would have looked, who knows? All of this worked the way it's supposed to because this is my purpose. I truthfully believe that my purpose is to take what I've learned to help athletes because I'm in the best position to do so. I've done it. I've been there. I have all the answers that I think that you can hear because I have the experience of going through it myself, the experience of watching everyone around me, some who didn't succeed, some who were mediocre, and some who exceeded expectations for themselves. After taking in all this information, after having all these conversations, after having a podcast, after talking to people, you start learning simple things that you can align to good habit, bad habit, success, not success, things, this, that, and the third. You get it. Last thing. I've spent less time with people that don't serve me. And this is a really important thing that a lot of people don't think about. A lot of the reasons people get stuck where they are and never get past the version of themselves that they looked back and said, when I'm 16, I want to be 26 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're a 16-year-old and you're envisioning your life. And you're like, when I'm 26, I want to be a multimillionaire and I want to have 2 cars and 3 houses and blah, blah, blah. First, stop looking at the material things. Like, just focus on how you feel. But that's another conversation. But anyways, let's say that's what you're striving for, right? I want to be this person. Well, what I tell every single person to get there is to embody that person today. If you want to be a multimillionaire when you're 26, start acting like the multimillionaire that runs 4 businesses and has a great family, a dog, and 2 kids today. Start embodying those habits. What is a multimillionaire who's doing all those things? What do his habits look like? Is he staying up late playing video games? Is he being rude to people? Is he preying on people's downfalls? Is he talking bad on himself? Is he insecure? Is he reading? Is he not reading? Is he writing? Is he reflecting? All those things matter, bro. They all matter. And if you don't think they matter, well, you're going to be like me when, you're 24 and it hits. And, you'll still be successful because you still probably, were raised right. Got a good support group who could propel you. But imagine if you kind of have these realizations when you're 18 versus 24. I'm still early. That's great. A lot of people don't have them until they're 30, till they're 35, till they're 40, till they're 60. Who knows? But for college athletes, your window's small. So if you want to maximize your ability, if you want to be a guy who goes all the way, I'm telling you, man, this is the one thing you need to fix. I've watched all my peers who went to the NFL. I have tons of them who've been there, who are there right now, dominating. And I think back to my time with them, and I'm so grateful to have spent time with tons of these dudes, watching them work, watching them compete, watching how they talk to themselves, watching how they prepare for games, watching what they do in their free time. Man, they're machines. And the reason that they do it is because they have these systems in place from an early set point. They're not going home talking bad about themselves. They're not going home insecure about a play. They're not thinking on 3rd and 8 to pass the ball to somebody else. They want the ball. Give me the ball, man. I want it. Feed me. That's what they're thinking. And in order for you to get to this place, you need to have confidence in yourself. You need to have full belief. And you need to be doing it for nobody but yourself. Because if you're worried about everyone here, when it's time for the lights to be on, you're going to be too worried about all the lights and not worried about yourself. And just keep in mind, all these things are pretty when things are going well, but they're not when they ain't. So listen, I hope this story helped people. I hope it gives you a little bit of clarity and relatability to know that, listen, I went through the same journey. Everyone still goes through the journey. Everyone has moments. But put the systems in place to help yourself get through them and be the best version of yourself. And you'll thank yourself in the long run, I promise you. I appreciate anyone who listened to this or watched this episode. If you're still here at this point, that means that something struck a nerve or hit something for you, and I really hope that the next step for you is to work on it. I tell everyone, listen, I got my website. I'm going to put it in the description. This conversation may not align with what I do in terms of recruiting, but it for sure helps in what I do with helping and coaching these athletes. Check out my website, man. I got tons of free resources for you to hit me up, have a conversation with me, talk through these things. And I wish nothing but the best for anyone listening to this. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.